Program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution. Because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children. And not for coworkers either. And yes, that includes you, Cindy. I see you did your hair today in the break room. My coffee tastes like Suave Extra Hold.
Oh, look at us. We're right on time. Oh, my gosh.
That's what I was going to say. We are
That's
right on time this morning. It's crazy. It's crazy how it's always 6:30.
It is unbelievable. Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Hi, buddy. What you doing?
I don't have any coffee.
You don't? Go get some coffee. Wait a minute. You go get coffee when I talk about music.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. I went down. I was like, man, it's so hard to make a fun title about child exploitation, and so I struggled with that for 10 minutes, and then I was like, oh, finally, I'm done. I have a title. We're a little late, but we're good. And then I'm gonna go get some coffee. The pot is off, empty. It's got yesterday's grains in it. It was not ready to go.
That's a little better than what happened to me this morning. I was sitting here and I thought it was a little before 6, and I thought I'm gonna go make some coffee so it'll be ready and I'll be done with all my stuff by the time the show starts. And I go in there and I look at the coffee pot, and I'm the only one that works here in this building, so I make me a pot of coffee during the morning, and then I, go about my day, clean up everything, and I go. I forgot to turn off the coffee pot yesterday, and it's an older one, so it doesn't go off on its own. So the little bit of coffee that was in there was just like a flaky, nasty.
Yeah, coffee char.
Charcoal coffee. So I was scrubbing this morning so I could have some coffee.
That is not good.
It's good. My coffee's good. I scrubbed it.
Yeah, it's good. Right. Now that adds a little crunch to it too for the next.
Sometimes you want your coffee to be a little crunchy. I mean, it helps out with your teeth
and your
gum health. Yeah.
Good morning, Deacon. How are you? How is it going this morning?
I have a big kind of a curved bush that curves around part of our driveway. When you come into our driveway, it kind of curves, and we have a big bush that curves around. And we bought the house a couple of years ago, and I haven't trimmed the bush in a couple of years. So yesterday I got out there with the little trimmers, and I don't have a big gas powered trimmers. I got the little electric trimmers that takes the batteries and stuff, and they work fine if you don't cut anything bigger than your pinky finger.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, bigger than my pinky finger. It was just out of control. And it was a lot of me. So I can tell how old and out of shape I am from the winter and whatnot, because my arms are killing me this morning, man.
I've seen people use trimmers before, but not that often. I have a giant similar situation, a big bush in front of my house, and and I basically ignore it all the time. So about once a year, I have to go out there and like this thing's out of control. And I don't even have electric trimmers. I picked up a pair of these garden shears from a garage sale. So I have these giant scissors, and they're just like, and every once in a while I hit a part of the bush that is just too thick for the scissors. And I'm like, oh my God, snap it. Yeah.
You're more of a man than me.
I wouldn't say that. No, I didn't say that.
I'm a hurt man. I slept. I can say this. I slept soundly last night. When my alarm went off at 4 this morning, I could have slept a lot longer than 4 o'clock this morning. Let me tell you. So, all right, go get you some coffee. I'm going to talk about some music.
Yeah, talk about the music.
You're still listening while you get coffee, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna just use camera magic and.
Okay, I don't know what he's doing. I'm trying not to choke to death. I've had the allergies and stuff are going. So our music this week that we're adding to Deke's playlist. This is sugar-free Twix Coffee Mate. If you see that in the store in Walmart or wherever, it's sugar-free Twix. And it's that you can definitely tell it's sugar-free. I can't tell if it's Twix or not. So this week we are doing duos. They don't necessarily have to be, I told JJ yesterday, they don't have to necessarily be singing duos. They could be a mixture of instrumentalists or instrumentalist and a singer, a guitarist and singer duos, stuff like that. So this is what we're pointing out this week. Yesterday we did a singing duo. Today I'm doing a guitarist and a bassist duo. I would say that JJ has heard of this band. I doubt that JJ has heard of these two songs from this band. But our duo today is Les Claypool and Lair Lalonde from Primus. Les is the bassist singer, and Les could have fit, as I was talking about this morning, or thinking about this morning, typing this stuff out, I was thinking to myself, man, Les could have fit into 3 or 4 of these freaking categories. He could have been in like the top bass player category. He could have been in the most unique voice category, the crazy duo category that we're doing here today. But Les is a bass player and singer, and Lair is a crazy guitarist. And if you some people don't like Primus. Some people just don't like Primus. They're a weird band. It's not anything that you're going to hear on the freaking radio. Okay, it's not. And that's why I kind of picked both of these songs are kind of John the Fisherman. If you don't like John the Fisherman, you won't like any other Primus song, period. Because that's kind of a perfect example of what a Primus song sounds like. And then Shake Hands with Beef is just another one of my favorite. It's just got a cool little groove, and I liked it. So check out John the Fisherman by Primus and Shake Hands with Beef. If you've heard any Primus, I'm sure you've heard like My Name is Mud or Jerry Was a Race Car Driver or Winona's Brown Beaver or something like that. But John the Fisherman, Tommy the Cat's another good one.
I have only the most distant relationship with Primus.
Most people do.
I had a friend in high school who I would say loved Primus.
Yeah,
it was like his one guy that favorite band.
Primus. Yeah,
and it's not in any way at all related. But my most distinct memory of the guy who loved Primus is that we went over to, I was like 16. We went over to his house to go get him and go hang out or whatever. And me and another guy went up into his house, up to his room, and the dude was unconscious. And I thought he was not breathing and dead. And he had been doing whippets in his room. And I was like, slapping him. I was like, wake up, dude. Don't be dead.
Freaking whippets, man. Yeah, I had a buddy, and you would reach underneath his bed, and he had all those little CO2 cartridges.
Yes,
and it's like, what the you could buy them back then. These little metal CO2 cartridges, you could buy them for your little guns, for the little pellet guns, BB guns. You just pop them in, and it would held just a little, but they would pop it and suck on them and get high and kill themselves. Some of these kids are fucking
I was almost I honestly think he was laying there not breathing, and like I just happened to walk in and slap him awake.
My buddy, what are you doing? My buddy did Duster back in the day, and that shit'll rot your brain. And he fell through a plate glass window. He was doing it, and he blacked out and fell through a plate glass window. I saw him in school the next day. He had a cut right down his forehead. He had his hair, that butt crack 90s hairdo that all the guys wore. You know what I'm talking about?
You parted your hair and your face.
He parted it. Yeah, it's because he had a mark right down where his butt crack hairdo, and he had 2 black eyes for like 2 weeks. We made fun of him. All right, so there you go. There's Primus. There's the song of the day.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. If you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. I'm JJ. That's Deacon. Every morning we drink coffee and we talk about the news, politics, and media and culture and pop culture.
I never ask you what is your coffee mug?
It's like Marvel. I've only got 2 that hold a large enough capacity.
Okay.
And it's got a cool blue inside. I like it.
This
that's your Mandalorian cup.
That's one of them. Yeah, my kids got me this one. And it's only because I broke the handle of my stormtrooper helmet, the one that looks like a stormtrooper.
Oh
helmet.
no!
Handle. So
drinking out of Ahsoka's head isn't comfortable with the big old
it's giant. It holds like 4 cups of coffee, man. So by the time I get halfway done, I've got to go and refill. It's giant. Yeah. Ahsoka, it's a little. I feel like I'm making out with her.
All right. So Deacon, today's fun and exciting title of our show.
I just kept changing the subject.
Fun and exciting title of today's show, ladies and gentlemen: Biden ends policy protecting children. Now that's fun.
Hang on.
That's fun.
Hang on. Pull that picture back.
Can't tell the difference. They look the same. Oh, pretty close. Okay, so here's what's going on. The Biden administration is ending a border policy where they checked for familial DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just going to assume, because I watched the Trump debates like 5-6 years ago, and a bunch of you Americans didn't understand that when Trump was talking about coyotes bringing people across the border, he wasn't talking about feral dogs. He was talking about people, human trafficking. And apparently a lot of the country is unaware of what coyotes are, or what human trafficking is, or what these people will do to get into America. So Biden is, I'm just going to explain it like you're dumb. Biden
explain
is
like
ending
I'm a 5-year-old, JJ.
Yeah.
Explain like I'm
Biden
5.
is ending a familial DNA testing at the border, a key deterrent to child fraud and child trafficking. So some people, believe it or not, will go to any means necessary to cross the border, including taking some other people's children and crossing the border, pretending that's their children. And then when they get over here and get past Border Patrol with their little ticket and their court date to return to, they're never showing up, they will just abandon the child, abandon them, or worse. So in order to prevent that, or to diminish that somewhat, a Trump era policy that was put into place was to do DNA testing of people that cross the border with children, affirming that that's my child, that's my kid, whatever. And They would check the DNA of the kid, check the DNA of the adult, and make sure that there's a minimal match.
Right. No. So, why? Yeah. Okay. I see.
So we're ending that
perfectly. Why? Why again are we ending that? Just to let people over? Can I bring up something here real quick?
Please.
Since you have that, I'd just like to share this real quick.
Yeah.
We'll throw this on. This was posted. It's May the 23rd. This was March the 19th of this year. Border agents arrested 16 people on FBI's terror watch list at Mexico crossing. Just in this, I was looking for the numbers that I just heard in a news story the other day about the number of terrorists, the people on the terror watch list that they believe, or it was in the past year, that they have gotten over arrested at the border.
I'll look in a break in a minute, but I am pretty sure that we just ran into a terror suspect, somebody on the terror watch list. It was just across the border. The Biden administration is set to end familial DNA testing at U.S.-Mexico border, which is key to preventing fraudulent entry of many illegal immigrants and mitigating child trafficking, according to a memo obtained by Just the News. The DNA testing was originally implemented by in the Trump era and utilized by Customs Border Protection following a court order related to the separation of migrant children from families and evidence drug cartels were using children to create fake family units to sneak illegal immigrants across the border. But over the weekend, the CBP memo sent to the frontline border agents announced the testing will cease when its vendor contract expires this month.
What if Biden is a part of this?
What if?
No, hear me out here. What if Biden is a part of this vampiric cannibal cult that needs this to keep them alive, and that's what this is now? Now, I was sitting here thinking, why would this not be something that you would want to continue? And like, what are the logical reasons? And the only logical reason that I can come up with right now here, just off the top of my head, is that there has to be something else in this bill or in this that we don't know about that the Biden administration wants to get rid of. Because surely to Jesus Christ, you wouldn't want to get rid of something like this that just does this to keep this, unless there's a part of it that they are not telling us that they do.
Okay, you know? So let me try to be fair and spitball some ideas. Here's some reasons to end the program.
Okay,
maybe it's expensive.
Okay, I agree.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure it is.
Sometimes
DNA
money is
every single freaking family that comes through.
I mean, Jesus but Christ. Then again, cotton swab, whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
Running the tests and the DNA, that's got to be expensive. Sure. So you're
maybe
right.
It's expensive.
Okay, it's costing a lot of money.
Let's see.
But we just print money. The government just prints money. It's not like they're getting it from anywhere. Right. I mean, you got some paper. I got recycled paper here. You can print on the back of this. Just print money. It's not a big deal. They do it all every day.
What else? What's another good reason?
Three people out there.
Maybe they hate kids. It's possible they hate kids.
Logically. Okay, well, maybe. I mean, you're being logical. Joe Biden does have a history of sniffing fucking children and acting.
He does. Well, see, there you go. That's evidence of the opposite, right? He really likes kids.
But there's a whole fucking. Yeah, but that's where my mind went. Okay, that's where my mind went when I initially thought, what's the logical reasons for this? And my mind said, Joe Biden's a child molester. He's a freaking pedophile, and he's protecting all these other elite business Hollywood whoever pedophiles, these people that have all this money that's keeping these lists and keeping these people protected. They're all protecting each other. And so why wouldn't they want people to illegally bring more children in the country? They're not racist. They don't care if the children are brown or white or black or yellow or red. They don't care what color the children are.
Have you ever seen Joe Biden sniff anything but a white kid, though?
Oh, yeah. You want me to grab some pictures?
Let's have a parade.
He's an equal opportunity sniffer. He's not racist. He's just a child molester. He's not a racist child molester, JJ. Geez, there's some lines that we've got to establish.
Some reports have found as many as 30% of migrant fraud families shared no familial relationship.
30%.
Yeah.
30%.
Yeah.
30 families. 30 families out of every 100 that cross the border. And how many cross the border?
That would be now I'm going to be fair. I think that would be fraudulent families. In 2022, a different government account. I mean, you have to really be like tracking them to figure out which ones are frauds, though. In 2022, a different government accountability office report found that as many as 1 in 10 children tested turned out not to be related to illegal aliens who were crossing with them. All right, so maybe it's 10%. Maybe it's in some cases much more. But either way. The Biden. Okay, so here's another reason. Let me give you another reason why Biden would want to scrap this program, because Biden is stupid and he hates Donald Trump and he hates Republican successes. So anything that is a policy that was effective, it doesn't matter if it's effective or not. If it's a policy from the prior administration, we're going to kill it and find some other way to be successful, because he doesn't want to hand any wins to Trump. That's a possible reason.
You're right. That's very logical, because people that hate Trump, they don't just absurd. Dislike Trump. They feverishly foam at the
Oh,
mouth,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
hating him. Like, they want to obliterate his every
So,
they are the
you know,
type of people that would burn books on Trump to erase his name from history. I'm not kidding.
I was talking to Mr. E a few days a week ago, a few days ago. I don't know. He's not hanging out right now. He was saying something. He was just so like being venomous about Trump or something. He's been, you know, a little itchy, and and I was like, dude, I just can't even talk to you right now because you guys hate Trump more than Satan. You guys are so angry. You hate Trump more than Satan. And he told me that's ridiculous. I don't even believe in Satan. And I was like, oh, okay. You think that makes that like what I said less outrageous? So you actually substantiated exactly what I said.
Believe what they want to, and I'm not gonna
make
fun of them because I got some weird beliefs too. But
I mean, okay. I mean, and it's, you know, I don't hate Joe Biden. I mean, I kind of despise him mostly because
I'm just disgusted by him. Yeah, I'm just disgusted by him.
He's the president, so he's the one that's in charge of bad ideas right now.
What I hate is I don't hate him. I hate the fact that I think our democracy has been made into a clown show, entertainment. It's just a show. You know,
it sure is.
It's a circus. And when I say circus, I'm not talking about everything's out of control. I'm talking about it's a show. It's a put on performance for you. Here's these people doing tumbles over here. Ooh, look at the person in the trapeze and the tight wire. Here's the clowns entertaining you. You know, it's a whole grand show is all it is anymore to me. You know, and I just don't trust.
Oh, you shouldn't.
I don't trust any of them.
Don't trust no one.
That's what Ashley, we were talking about the voting the other day because Kentucky was one of the states that voted, and I was like,
I don't. All right. Good morning. I see Brian over on Rumble. Good morning, Brian, and Do Good's over on, it looks like YouTube. Good morning, Do Good. Hey, haven't seen you.
Do Good, what's up? Hello, how is Germany? We've got international viewers.
He's German, and whenever he's here, we're supposed to be extra hateful and offensive. Isn't that right?
No, that's one of my like bucket list countries is Germany. I don't know why. I don't know why. I have to have had some sort of blood in Germany because that was one of my Duolingo. You know, I was doing Spanish and German was the other language. I've always loved the German language. Yeah. So
my brother took a lot of German in school, but our family, my maternal side of the family, are Wagners, so we're German. But I've never dreamed of going there.
My real last name is a last name that's very common in Germany.
Oh, is it?
It's pronounced differently in Germany, and when my dad lived over there for a long time. In the army, our name was pronounced completely different than it is over here in America. So yeah, Do Good. That's what we're talking about. Germany. Our one of our viewers this morning is from Germany. Our
Do Good. Do they still wear lederhosen in Germany? Is that a thing?
9.
Only at night when we go to bed. Oh, geez.
When we go to bed.
All right. Hey, never mind. Right. Keep it to yourself.
Hey,
not interested. All right. Let's see. I got some. Speaking of children and presidents, you might imagine that Donald Trump, who instituted the child protection policies, right? He might have a slightly different kind of take on child-related issues, and he's running for president. In an interview with, I think, John Solomon from Just the News, Donald Trump has vowed to reduce abortions through incentivized adoptions. So
here's $5,000 to help get this child. This is a good idea and a terrible idea.
You think so?
This idea is a good idea, but you need so much freaking regulation and monitoring and oversight on this that it'll be crazy.
Okay, so I believe, okay, so he was basically kind of pitched this question, like, because they were talking about abortion and pro-life agenda, and I think they kind of came at him sideways here in this interview. He wasn't exactly like,
No, you mean to tell me
yeah,
that a moderator tried to
yeah,
freaking
yeah.
stump Trump up there and not give him a fair
So
shake? That's crazy,
in,
JJ. None of them
they're
do
not
that.
unfriendly. It's just one of those things when you're
No,
in a
they're never
conversation and
unfriendly,
something
but
comes
they're
up.
asshole. They've got an asshole attitude when they ask the questions. They set up the questions that way. You're kidding? They
So
do that?
yeah.
I'm shocked.
So Trump was basically saying, look, it used to be that the pro-life kind of people, agenda pro-life segment of the population were very, very weak. Roe versus Wade was against them, and since Roe versus Wade has been overturned, the pro-life segment has got a lot more clout. And with that clout, remember Trump is a business guy and a negotiator. With that more substantial clout, they now have leverage to negotiate things that are more fair for everybody. And that would include like negotiations that would have like exceptions for like women that were raped or whatever a kind of other exceptions that the left is always touting the outliers as the standard for everything. So during this kind of discussion on abortion, one of the hosts asked a question, well, what about adoption? And Trump essentially said, like, I think there's like a lot of things you can do there, and not just politically but also morally. And one of the things they could do, an alternative to abortion that could be substantiated by government policy, would be for people who are considering abortion to put their kids up for adoption, and then the federal government provide tax breaks and incentives for people who want to adopt
Oh,
children. So
that's what I. Okay, yes, that's
so
what
it's
I
not like
understood.
cash in pocket, but it is like, oh well, you reduce
So
your
here's the
tax burden.
problem with that. Here's the first
Okay.
problem with that. Let me tell you where I'm coming from with my opinion first. For about 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 years in my middle 20s, I worked for a foster care company. This company was a foster adoption and foster care company. And I did not work as a foster care as a case manager. My two best friends did that I shared the office. I was the community service liaison and court liaison. I attended juvenile court in 4 different counties throughout the
Oh
week,
wow.
and I took referrals for ankle monitors. I taught shoplifting programs that I had to be trained to do. I monitored. I scheduled and coordinated and scheduled community service in 3 different counties for juveniles to do when they had their community service. So I did a lot of things for this foster care company, but I worked I worked directly with these, and I saw everything that happened in the foster care system. Here's the problem. Here's number one. The first problem with this.
Okay.
There's not enough parents. There's not enough people that want to adopt these kids. And the parents that do want to adopt, most of them want something specific. They want a
Right.
baby. They don't want the 14-year-old kid. They
That
don't want
look,
the
that's
13-year-old
true.
kid that's going through hormonal balance, that has never had a
Yeah.
home their entire life. And now they're going through all these hormonal changes, and you're treating them like shit because they went through 3 different homes. How are they supposed to feel?
Yeah. No, there's a lot of kids, especially if they're in the system for a long time, they become look, older
They have
kids, troubled kids with
And
health
they don't know
issues and
love.
stuff like that.
They do not know love and caring and support that your parents are supposed to offer you, and they grow up and they pass that along. They don't. This is why we have some problems and some problems. But anyway, the number 2 problem is that you have people that leech off the system, and if
That's true.
they get $150 or whatever per kid, and they can have a maximum of 5 kids. They always have 5 kids because they go over and check on these kids, and it's basically one step above squalor,
Right.
just above the line. I got to talk real quick. Those are the two initial problems.
Yeah, those are issues. That's definitely issues. Of course, people, if they can, are going to manipulate the system for their advantage in many cases. So, you have to have strong filters in place. And I can only speak about, like, our experience was not through the foster system. We did a private adoption, and for us, I mean, it was a long process of getting, like, qualified, and we had to go through, like, observations and stuff like that. And Deacon's definitely got a point there. A lot of people that want to adopt they want to adopt most of the time because they haven't been able to have their own kids. I'm talking about, like, people that are pursuing adoption. They weren't able to have biological children, but they still want children. They want a baby, and that is a baby is the most rare kind of adoption, because a lot of times, you have these different kind of circumstances, right? There's mothers that don't want to be mothers, and they give up their children, and that's pretty. I'm not going to say rare, but it's less common. Much more common are the situation where a child is in an unfit home and has to be removed from an unfit home, and those children are older. They've already got bonds, and it becomes difficult for them. They end up with, like, emotional issues from feeling abandoned, or maybe they're abused, or maybe the system around them is just unstable. And yeah, they have a lot of difficulty, and they are not, unfortunately, they're not the kid that is being imagined by a potential adoptive parent. Part of that, though, is maybe a change in our culture a little bit, in terms of, like, how we kind of perceive what adoption is, and how frequent it could be. But I think maybe one little bit of changing the policy could be, or changing government policy, changing the overall focus in terms of, like, what adoption is. I don't know. It's a good thing. I'm very much in favor of adoption. Obviously, very leery of abuse. I don't want kids put in abusive situations, but there's a lot of people out there that want to have families, and there's a lot of kids out there that need them, and there are
a lot of kids out there that need them. There are a lot of kids out there that need them. I've saw it with my own eyes. I think back on some of this stuff, and it breaks my heart. Dude, let me just tell you a story. This is the God's honest truth. This is a true story, okay? When I worked there, my buddy had this family. Had this family. It was an older couple, and this older couple had adopted these 3 young siblings, because these 3 young siblings, a boy and 2 girls, and these 3 young siblings, all under 5, had been in a abusive home that was not only physically, but was sexually abusive to these children under 5. Okay, so they took these kids out of this home, and they put them with these older couple. This older couple was able to get all 3 of them and keep them together, which was a godsend. It was a godsend. And this couple was great. It was an older couple, and their house was great, and it was great. And they ended up adopting these 3 kids, and we were like, they're getting out of our system. They're going to be adopted. This is great. My buddy hardly ever had to go over to their house. His once a month visit, never had any problems. It was a perfect case. And then we find out a couple of years later that the old man was arrested because he was sexually abusing the fucking children. I'm not making that up, dude. I'm not making that up.
Yep.
These kids need good people.
They do. And there's too few. There are too few of them.
They don't need predators. The system is open to predators, and it's open to predators across the border, like we were talking about. And they get into this country, and it's open to predators now. So if they're going to do this, all they're doing is offering extra money for these predators who are trying to get the kids anyway. I'm not saying everybody is. I'm just saying they are out there.
They are, and so part of it. I mean, what do we do? Or the first question is always, should we be doing anything as a state, as a government? But what do we do to increase adoptions, but keeps kids safe at the same time? and it's not like create cases of adoption. There's a lot of kids that need homes. There's people out there that need parents, and there's a lot of barriers. So how do we filter out the good potential families from predators, and at the same time keep the rate of adoption as high as possible? You want the kids to spend as little time in a system as possible.
Yeah, man. I've
want
seen
them
those kids that are like 13, 14, 15 years old that have been in the system most of their life, or they spent 2 years at this house, or they spent 6 months here and 6 months there and a year and a half here. And these kids don't grow up with any kind of stability, none at all. So sorry, it's a good program, but it needs to
harm them long term.
Yeah. There's a lot of
problems. Maybe part of it. So I didn't bring this story up earlier in the month because
it's
kind of like
this is a perfect example of the. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is a perfect example of that phrase. The path to hell is paved with good intentions. This is a perfect example because this has got great intentions all over it. But look what happens with your good intentions. Look at all of these contingencies that me and JJ have just come up with here in 5 minutes that would make that are the path to hell.
The thing is, it is, and the current situation is, we have all of those problems and barriers to adoption, and so the kids just languish. A lot of them languish in childcare, and then they, unfortunately, they go through that system, and the rate of them having successful lives is much lower than any of their peers. This story is from May 3rd. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill allowing the death penalty for child rapists.
Okay.
This is maybe part of the tool in your toolkit to prevent abuse. Instead of having, predators that go through the system and get caught and get out and then predate again, maybe we just call the predators. Maybe we just find these fuckers and kill them.
What if you're convicted of child rape? What if we just cut off your schmeckle and put it on a necklace and you have to wear it around? So not only are you humiliated, because not only you're humiliated in several different ways.
I mean, you'd think that, but there's a lot of people that are kind of doing that to themselves right now. So, Republican Governor Ron DeSantis signed legislation in early May.
You make a good point, JJ. I'm sorry.
That authorizes the use of the death penalty on convicted sex abusers of children. The new law goes into effect October 1st, allowing the Sunshine State to seek capital punishment when an adult is convicted of sexual battery of a child under 12. Fuck those people. They can just die. I mean, we don't need them. We don't need them.
No, and I don't want those.
DeSantis signed the bill despite a 2008 U.S. Supreme Court ruling that found it unconstitutional for states to use capital punishment for crimes other than murder, setting the stage for a possible showdown at the high court. So, I mean, I don't know on what grounds the Supreme Court can deny a state the right to capital punishment. Because I don't think there's anything in the law in the Constitution about that.
I don't think there is either. Because we were specifically set up to be able to do that, but
all rights belong to the states. So I want to see where this goes, and we need to test this law as soon as possible, because if it gets challenged, so catch one of these fuckers, put him on capital punishment, convict him, let him appeal it, let it go to Supreme Court, and find out what the court says. Find out what if the court allows it or not. Because getting rid of because these degenerates, you think, they only do that when they're 20 or 30. No,
you were
you
were the guy. Your ancestors back in the Middle Ages was the people that threw the cabbage at the people that was locked up in the stocks. They were like, "You stole a chicken,
eggs." I'm gonna throw a whole chicken at you. Get out of here, nasty.
But I mean,
child fucker.
Seriously, back in the back then, I mean, what would they do? You would go into town and you
see
three
you would just get killed.
3 bodies hanging from the tree right there, and on them there's a little wooden sign that says thief. You look at your buddy and you're like, dude, don't fucking steal anything in this town.
Exactly. Maybe we just move on. Maybe we just roll on to the next town.
Yeah, if you're a thief, maybe you just go on to the next town. I mean, that's just it's proving the point.
Okay. Well, that's enough fun.
Let's get to some serious stuff news this morning. JJ, come
on. What do we got? We got like 15 minutes. We got like 5 stories. So we're not going to spend very long on these. How about this one? You recall, I'm sure, earlier this month, and you know, there's all of this stuff about the Russia collusion. The FBI basically allowed a lot of bullshit to happen in the hurricane. What was that? That Crossfire hurricane. They allowed that investigation to happen. It's now come out that basically the Durham report said they had nothing. They had nothing to do with the Crossfire hurricane, but they allowed the Russia collusion hoax to perpetuate anyway. Turns out that during that time period, the United States government, the FBI, was trying to talk and get information from British intelligence to see if they could substantiate any of this Russia collusion allegations. And British intelligence found the FBI Russia collusion probe so absurd that they just stopped helping. They said, "This is stupid. This is dumb." Special counsel John Durham released his 300-page report last week, and British intelligence expressed such skepticism about the FBI's investigation into the Trump campaign alleged ties to Russia 2016, and eventually became so concerned that it stopped cooperating, according to evidence made public by the special counsel. So our ludicrous Trump witch hunt became so absurd that the United Kingdom, who has a fucking king right now, a king that they anointed with a magic rock.
On a magic rock. Get it right.
Magic rock. They found our country so absurd that they stopped answering the phone.
He had to sit on the magic rock. And the magic rock was originally a Scottish magic rock, and then the English stole it for several hundred years. And then they're like, yeah, we acknowledge that this is your rock, and you can borrow it, but we still fucking want it whenever we want it.
Right. Okay. So
that was pretty
is there anybody out there that still believes that Russia was that Trump was colluding with Russia?
Oh yeah, I do.
I bet you there's tons of people that still think it's true. Because you know why? They don't actually read the news. They just know what their third friends told them.
I only get my news from Facebook posts. So that's
I haven't been to Facebook in a minute. My wife told me the other day, she was like, "You don't even check Facebook. It was just your birthday. All these people are telling you happy birthday on your Facebook." And I was like, my phone works. They could call me. They could text me. If they texted me, I answered.
That's exactly what I used to say about Facebook when I had it. I haven't had Facebook in a decade, and I haven't missed it at all. But I used to say that about Facebook. I looked down at my friends list and look at that number, and I was like, I don't have this many friends. I don't know this person. I always joked. I had my little comedy routine that I would be like, this is not your friends. It should be called people I once went to high school with, you know, is what, but it's too long to fit there. So they just put friends. I don't know this bitch that's asking to be my friend. I know who she is. And yes, we went to school since we were in the fucking 4th grade, but we have never said 2 fucking words to each other. You don't need to know what's going on in my life right now. My friends have my telephone number. My friends will text me. So if my friends want to tell me happy birthday, they'll text me to tell me happy birthday.
Now,
they will throw a pig at me or whatever.
If these people want to be your friends, well, they should just follow us on the show so they can find out what's going on every day.
Like, that was good, though. I got to give you one. That was good. All right, let's go. We got 10 minutes.
You guys can see what we're up to every day. All right. It's been a little while since we talked about this story, but you might remember the man who killed a teenager he accused of being a Republican extremist. He, I think, ran over him with his car because he was afraid that the MAGA Republicans were coming. He now faces a maximum of 10 years in prison. 42-year-old North Dakota man who admitted to killing 18-year-old Kaylor Ellingston by running him over with his SUV because he was part of a Republican extremist group. He faces just 10 years in prison. He was initially charged with vehicular manslaughter, but prosecutors upgraded the charge to murder in September. Brandt said he was afraid Ellingston was, quote, part of a Republican extremist group and that he was afraid they were coming to get him, according to reports. He then hit and ran over Ellingston with his car, killing him. What do you think? I mean, first of all, thank you, prosecutors, for upgrading a manslaughter charge to murder, because that's crazy. That's crazy.
No, whatever.
What does a Republican extremist group look like in your fantastical imagination? Does it look like people marching through the streets, throwing bricks through windows and lighting buildings on fire? Or like what does it look like? Red hats. People walking around with red hats, being very overweight and intimidating,
or just telling you their opinion very loudly.
Right,
that's extremist. Behavior. You've got some really downer stories, man. I know. I was looking through all those right there. I was like, we don't have one nice, happy story to end this shit show on.
There's not any.
I was
There's no fun
trying to
today.
Freaking find one here.
I looked too. That's why the show started late.
In the show on. There's nothing really.
I mean, we got kind of
gross.
Well, hold on. Let's just try it. Let's try and see how it goes. How about this one? An alleged burglar was found in a pool of blood after a homeowner opened fire. This guy, and I believe this is in Beaumont, Texas. So this is like right down the road over there, about 40 miles. Let me just take a moment here before we even read the story to discourage you from robbing a house in Texas.
That's like,
can I just generally discourage
you? Committing a crime in Mexico, there are certain things that you just do not want to do. You don't want to do anything that will get you the death penalty in Texas. Or no, you don't want to do anything that will. Everybody in Texas has a gun. And you don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, you should just assume it's not true. It's not true. Not everybody has a gun, but you should really assume that most people have a gun.
The same
you should just
Kentucky.
assume that.
You don't want to go and mouth off to somebody here because they might shoot your ass.
An alleged burglar was found in a pool of blood after a homeowner opened fire on him just after midnight Friday morning in Beaumont, Texas. 12 News Now noted the homeowner called the police and then shot the suspect. I didn't
blow this guy's ball off.
Here's my impression of the story. Hello, 911. Yeah, there's it appears to be a man intrude. Hold on, just bang.
Never mind.
Get out of my house. Y'all come over whenever. Okay. A responding officer found Cruz on the bathroom floor in a pool of blood and was able to use a tourniquet to stop the bleeding. Fox News reported that Cruz is expected to survive and will be held at the Jefferson County Jail once he's released from prison and from the hospital. And his bond is set at $100,000. A spokesman for the Beaumont Police Department pointed out the homeowner will not face any charges in the shooting. Okay, now he probably will get sued. Once this dude Cruz makes a recovery. You probably file like a civil suit for being injured while being shot, burglaring. Them's the breaks. Okay. That's not fun. How about this one? Deacon, sometimes I don't know if you think about like we try to do the show for fun, for you and I to talk, and we try to be a little informative, a little entertaining. We probably should.
I mean,
he has that ready
point.
to go.
It's a good point.
Yeah, it's not a bad point. Have you ever thought about what our opposition, because we're speaking for stuff and against stuff. Have you ever kind of wondered like what our opposition is, the character of our opposition, those that, would be, say, holding different opinions than us, extremely different opinions? Have you ever thought about that?
Have I ever thought about what the character is?
Yeah, who they, down in their core, they're not just cartoon people that we are, saying, hey, this stuff's wrong, this stuff's right. And people are holding opposite positions. They're not cartoon. They're not caricatures. They're real human beings.
I think
that sincerely held different opinions.
I think the people that people that I hang out with and I talk to about stuff like this, that's when we talk about politics and this kind of subjects, that's one of the main points, is trying to figure out who those people are and where they're coming from and why they view things that way.
How different are they
why they are different. Why do they view that way? And how can we, I think that's what we need to do. And I mean, that's what, sometimes I'm a bigot. You see it on this show. Sometimes I go crazy and you throw up your little because I'm going crazy, and I haven't in a while. You haven't had to use that in a while.
It's been you know what? It's been a while because maybe
sometimes my buttons still get pressed, but I'm trying to hold it.
So I'm going to say our adversaries, our opponents, our ideology opponents, those people are not, they're not foreign. They're not other. They shop at the same targets that we shop at, right? Maybe the same Walmart, maybe the same Target. But maybe they won't soon, because maybe you'll stop shopping at Target.
Where are you going with this? Are you telling a joke? You better be telling a joke.
I'm going right here. Target partners with Satanist designer app for a gay pride collection. So Target is partnering with Satan for LGBTQ pride clothes. The woke Target Corporation has partnered with its new pride clothing line, the UK-based designer Gesundheit, which insists that Satan loves you and Satan respects your pronouns. Among other items in the Pride line, the mega retailer Target that they carry, Cure Transphobia sweatshirt, which bears the image of Cure Transphobia, not trans people.
Satan respects your pronouns because Satan wants you to have a mental disorder so that you don't understand logic and reasoning and how things are supposed to be.
Yeah.
He wants you to follow his every command. That's why you scream at us when we have our own opinion. You want us to follow your every command.
Our opposition is aligned with Satan. The people that we are standing opposed to.
That Satanist standing there in that picture right there, he looks fabulous.
I think her balls are about to fall out of her shorts. Ab Prolin mixes a good deal of Satanism with its pro-LGBT activism, asserting on Instagram page that Satan loves you and respects who you are. Check out this pin. Satan respects your pronouns.
I have to say, JJ, that all of the black metal goat's skulls that I have seen in the past 40 years, the pink goat skull with the baby blue and the glitter really just kind of does it for me more over than the black and the blood. The black and the red and the blood goat skull is so 20 years ago. We need a goat skull.
Right. It's too goth.
Yeah, with all the colors of the rainbow and the goat skull and sparkles and glitter. Absolutely. I'm all for glamming up some Satanism. Goat skulls for everyone. That's great. This is great. Let me tell you what's great about this story for me. The nearest Target is 2 hours away.
Oh, is it really?
Yep.
Oh,
the nearest Target is in Nashville, and that's about an hour and 45 minutes. So this story affects me about as much as the price of beans in China.
So you probably also didn't notice or didn't take note of the similar Target story that they are offering some swimwear this season for the summer that is tuck friendly for adults. They are
tell
offering
me that does not mean what I'm initially assuming.
No, it means exactly what you think it means. It's got a little extra crotch fabric so that as you do as a
But wait, I'm not trans, but I do have, I mean, you as guys, sometimes especially in the summer, it gets a little uncomfortable in some hot situations. I'm wondering if, maybe that's the key to being comfortable.
Maybe. I don't know. So Target now some people have been saying that Target is marketing this tuck friendly stuff towards kids. No, it's on their adult lines. So it's for the big boys. Or the big girls.
Well, not necessarily the big boys, because penises. I don't think the big boys are the ones that's tucking it back. I think those are the little boys that are the ones that are trying to tuck friendly.
So there you go. That's as friendly. That's as fun as we could end the show today.
Penis jokes. Hey, join our Discord server and do not leave penis jokes in the dad jokes category.
Hey, let us know how much you like Satan in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know how much what you think the goat skulls should look like. Should we continue with the pink and the glitter and the baby blue, or should they be something else? We may start printing our own Your Two Dads rainbow goat skull t-shirts. Why the hell not should we print up rainbow goat skull t-shirts, JJ, to sell to the, I mean, if we can make $1.
I hope you are so looking forward to June. We have like 7 days left until it's gay everything month. There's going to be rainbows everywhere.
Dude, my birthday's in
the
4th of June, so I know. I understand.
Maybe we can make a shirt that is so gay that we out gay all the other shirts for June. Is it possible? I don't know.
If there's anybody that can make a gay shirt, it's you, JJ. So good luck. I wish you well, my brother. All right. So get a dad joke. And if you've got a dad joke, post it in our dad joke or thing on our server, and you know the drill. Jesus. All right. So this one come from this one was one that I saved for my daughter, because my daughter tells jokes like this all the time. My youngest one, Maggie, she's 11, so she's not like a baby anymore. What do you get, JJ, if you cross an angry sheep and an angry goat? Or no, shit, I told it wrong. An angry sheep or an angry cow. What do you get when you cross an angry sheep and an angry cow?
Angry sheep and an angry cow. I don't know. What do you get?
Two animals that are in a bad mood.
Oh,
that's a true dad joke. You can tell that one to your daughters. You can tell that one to your girls. Two the sheep and a cow.
Wow. Okay. Hey, did you hear about the kidnapping at school?
No.
Did you hear about that? It's okay.
Woke up.
He woke up. Yeah.
Please.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.
JJ.
Yeah. Leave some better jokes in the comments. Like and subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow, whether you want us to or not.